Hello, Scream Demons, and welcome to the Screams from the Basement podcast.
This is the scariest horror podcast on this side of the Black Lagoon. Screams from the Basement discusses the best double features the genre has to offer.
We also interview the industry's finest that make our screams become nightmares. I'm one of your creepy co-hosts. I am Casey.
And I'm Sam the Damned, and let's get screaming. Casey.
Yes.
We have people joining us in the basement this time around.
We do. Today is not only a basement, it's also a hideout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, it's a little of both. I think the best
like
basements are hideouts. Some of them can be barren hideouts. So let's welcome Dustin and Dustin from the Barrens Hideout podcast. Welcome, gentlemen.
You guys are in a Dustin sandwich right now. Hope you're enjoying that.
A Dustin sandwich
Literally.
with some Casey
Yes.
Caesar dressing.
Oh, there you go. A little bit
No,
of Sam,
are we-
little bit of Sam in between there.
No.
Yeah. It's a sandwich.
Some
if you
sliced
will.
Sam, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hell yeah! No, I'm excited to be here. This is great. I love going on other podcasts. I took a little bit of a hiatus from doing that, but I think as of late, because Dustin's always reaching out to people, I'm like, yeah, we should start just doing some more stuff and going on to people's shows. I mean, it's what it's all about. Going out there showing love. We got to support each other, and that's what this whole space is about: supporting and talking about the shit that we love. Right?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well-
I think the unwritten rule of podcasting is if you guest on someone else's podcast, you got to return the favor. And that's what's happening here. You guys allowed us to come on, at least me. Sam, this was when you were like dying.
Yeah, this was the week that I thought I was gonna die.
Yeah, Sam thought he
I'm
was going to
glad
die.
you are not dying. I'm glad
Same.
you're still
Yeah.
here.
He
Yeah.
survived. He didn't have to talk about Puppet Master. I think he was okay with that.
Yeah.
It
Our
was fine.
Yeah.
It was fine.
At least you
Well,
finally watched it.
Yeah, I finally watched it.
with our sweet ass full moon month,
Yeah.
Dustin.
Yeah.
That was a
I'm
fun
looking-
month. Dude.
I'm looking at you.
That was a fun month. That was fun. All right.
Yeah. I mean, let my eyes roll out of my fucking head.
Wait
How
until
about
next
that?
year.
Well, guys, tell us about the Barrens Hideout podcast. What do you guys do? What movies do you talk about? And then I have a follow-up question right after that. Don't let me forget it.
Sure.
I won't.
Well, the show has always been, just talk about indie horror really has been the driving force since I started the show. But it's even more now that I have Dustin and Anna. Anna fortunately couldn't make it tonight due to some technical issues. But since they've joined over the past 3 or 4 months, which is crazy to even think that you guys have been on the show for that long, because it feels like forever, we've been honing in a lot more indie. So we have our main episodes that drop every Monday, which is usually an actual movie review. We pick something, we go ahead and review that. We all get together and just kind of be like throwing some stuff at the board and being like, okay, what are we going to do this month? And then Dustin, since we are both really big anthology fans, he was like, let's start highlighting some short films. And I was like, you know what, that's great because I love shorts. So we have recently started doing another segment that drops on every Thursday, which is our Tales from the Barrens, which is we go hunt 3 short films for that week, talk about them, we rate them on our scare scale, and just kind of shoot the shit about them.
Yeah, he says recently, but we're on like episode 13, so we've been doing it for 13 weeks.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a ton of fun getting to do that, and then we reach out to these indie filmmakers, and we're talking to them, and recently we've interviewed the couple that are behind Gorgasma, which they did Pizza Panic Party, and
Oh, yeah.
the other shit that they've done, Army of Darkness, Urban Legends Bloody Mary, Sky High. Dude, I flipped my shit when I found out that they created all the super suits in Sky High. But yeah, it's a ton of fun. We, like Dustin said, we just throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks.
That's awesome.
But
Yeah.
Casey, you had a follow-up question. I didn't let you forget.
I did. It's the one that all of us horror fans hate. But I'm going to mix it up a little. I'm not going to ask you what's your favorite horror movie because we can't pick that. If you were stuck on a desert island or if you're stuck in a basement or a hideout, what horror movie are you taking with you It's the only one you can ever watch. What DVD, VHS tape, Blu-ray, Laserdisc, whichever form of media you pick. What movie are you taking with you?
I got mine already. Dustin, do you have yours?
So I kind of think about this a lot, but I'm gonna go real cheesy just because there would be a lot of variety, and it's gonna be like those 50, 50 horror movies in one pack,
Oh,
and you're
you
just gonna
son of
go
a
and just bring
bitch.
that. This there you go. There's 50 movies, whether they're good or not. They could be awful rips, but hey, at least you got some variety.
How?
That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. How
That's
many
well
horror
played.
movies?
Well
You
played.
got a big brain,
Yeah.
Matt.
And like, how many movies do we like introduce ourselves to through those packs? You know, like, would I have
Literally.
seen Night of the Living Dead without a 50 horror movie? You know, like those public domain ones have some gold in them.
Oh,
I love
yeah,
it.
for
Exactly.
sure. Am I allowed a subgenre, like, or is it just strictly horror?
Any type of horror, yeah.
Okay. Well, it's going to be my most recommended movie outside of Ghostbusters. Behind the Mask: The Rise of Leslie Vernon.
Okay.
I can watch that
okay.
movie all day, any day. When I worked at the movie store, when I had people like, yeah, I'm not huge into horror, but I want to get into it. That is the movie I would suggest. Always.
It's a good one.
So, yes, I would bring
Yeah.
Behind the Mask.
Very nice. Very nice.
Now-
You're not
So
big
you
braining hard
start
enough.
them on something meta. That's I don't know. I suppose like there are a lot of people that are like, oh, like Scream was their
Yeah.
introduction. I don't know. That's
Look
crazy.
at Nathan Basil. He's a handsome motherfucker, dude. Like,
Yes,
I mean, how?
I'd let him kill me.
But it's Paradise Lost. Found it. It's good. It's fucking good. Yeah. What about you guys? What would you bring?
Chopping mall.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's Chopping
fuck
Mall.
yeah, dude.
Like that's my movie.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah. Kill butts, baby.
It's like it's the Godfather of cheesy B movies, and I love it so much. So
So good.
Yeah, if I'm not stuck on the same island with Sam where we're both taking Chopping Mall, I'll pick Evil Dead 2 just because it's my favorite
There you
horror
go.
movie
Yeah.
ever, and I can watch
Two
that over and
copies?
over. We would.
Roger,
That would be
Chopping Mall.
something.
What'd you
That
bring?
would be
Chopping
That
Mall.
would be something we do. Is take two copies of Chopping Mall
One
if
would
we're
have to
stuck
have
in a
like
desert.
all like the special features on it, so that way you have some variety on there. That's
Yeah.
how you do that.
True. There you go.
Sam will take the VHS tape. I'll take the Vestron Blu-ray, and then we're set for both.
yeah,
There you go.
exactly.
How many times should we watch that head explode?
It's
It's
Have
beautiful.
a good day.
that movie is just
Thank you for your
It's perfection.
cooperation.
it is. It's perfect.
All right. Well, we're going to jump into today's topic, today's double feature. Guys, we're talking about two love stories. We're talking about, we're going to get a little sentimental. We're going to get a little sappy on this one because these are very, very much set in the love story subgenre of horror. Sam, do you agree with that?
Yeah, kind of weirdly. Yeah, I do.
Well, today we're talking Takashi Miike. We're talking Audition from 1999 and then ICHI the Killer 2001. Boys, why these two movies? We sent you over our list of maybe like 100 topics, something like that.
Yeah.
What about these two movies stood out for both of you?
So how it went down was I was like, "Hey guys, Casey wants us to jump on, the show with him. Here's a list." Dustin goes, "Oh, cool. ICHI the Killer and Audition. That's the one we're gonna do." Yes,
Sort
it is.
of.
That's how it
So-
went.
We had some other picks, and Anna was like,
I had
don't
no,
know about
I had
that
no
one. And then
dogs
you
in this
were-
fight.
And then you were like, "Oh, Ghoulies 2's on there." I'm like, "Okay, we did just talk about that."
We did.
Some
Yeah.
other ones are on there. We're like, "Oh, that's good." And then I think we just got so indecisive. We were just like, "Yeah, fuck it. We're gonna go ahead and do this one." One's because I love foreign film, and these two movies have definitely scarred me in a way positively with how fucked up they are throughout my life. So when I saw that was on the list, I was like, let's do something wild. We don't really go that wild on our show. I don't think we have really reached this type of level yet. So I was like, yeah.
So you
let's
decided to
do it.
just dump that on us and push us into the extreme?
Hell yeah! Come on.
Thanks,
It's a group
appreciate it.
effort.
Well, next time you come on here, just pick Cannibal Holocaust, and then we'll just go to that.
Jesus.
I only watch half of that movie.
Let's just go on and do a Serbian film. Christ.
Yeah, hard pass on that shit. But I forgot. Yeah, I literally forgot where I was leading with that. Oh, with J horror, like we haven't really dabbled into it, but I mean we've done Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell.
Oh
which
God,
that's
that movie.
it's
Yep.
a ton of fucking fun. We've done Ringu, but that's really about it. Audition has been on my plate for a while now. Like I've been wanting to talk about it. But Itchy the Killer is a first time watch for me,
Which is exciting.
which I'm stoked to talk about.
Yeah, that's cool. Itchy the Killer is a rewatch for me. Audition is a first time watch
Really?
for me. And then Sam, both of these are first time
these are
watches
both
for you.
first times for me.
Oh, I wonder if if you got scarred in the same way that I did.
I'll say this: I liked one a lot more than the other, but I think both of them have I don't know, both of them are incredible in their own ways.
They both have their own like unique charm to them.
Yes,
given the context of them.
yeah.
Audition was one of those things where, what was this, 99? I was, I think in like 2008, I was working at Hot Topic, and my manager is like, hey, I got this movie I want you to check out. I'm like, okay. I'm fucking 18 years old, 19. He goes, check out this movie called Audition. So it's been a long time since I've rewatched it, and it is just as fucked up as I remember it being from when I watched it the first time.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's jump into that one first. Audition 1999, of course, directed by Takashi Miike, written by I'm gonna butcher all of these names. I'm just gonna get
It's
that
all
out
good.
in the beginning because I'm a guy from South Dakota. I don't know how to pronounce most of these, but I'm gonna try my best. Written by Daisuke Tengam, based on the Ryu Murakami novel. So both of these are based on previous works. Audition based on a novel. Itchy the Killer based on a manga. I can say that word right. I'm not that illiterate
There
where I
you
say,
go, yeah.
where I say
I'm applauding
manga. Yeah. So
Mango?
after the death of his wife, a film producer holds auditions to find a new spouse. Once meeting the love of a potential love of his life, the woman goes missing, and the producer begins to unravel the mystery behind this enigmatic woman. Audition 1999. Sam, I'm going to throw it to you first. First time watch for you. First time watch for me. Initial thoughts on Audition.
This one had to sit with me for a little while. I grappled with this one a lot. I am kind of in the camp of I loved it at this point in time. I love a good slow burn, especially if it pays off, and Audition does. Big time. Yeah. It's a weird movie. We'll get into it. Casey, what about you?
Yeah, so this is a first time watch for me. This might be like the definitive slow burn movie because a lot of people throw out that term for, especially horror movies, like slow burn horror. It's like some people might call The Exorcist a slow burn horror movie. I don't think that's a slow burn horror movie at all.
Yeah.
This one here is like straight up setting up a character drama. And then all of a sudden the third act is like, nah, we're going to go to like torture porn and like cut off a guy's foot and stab needles into him.
I saw Joe Lynch's Letterboxd review of this while I was like looking through and doing research after watching it, and he described it as it's like you're watching Texas Chainsaw it's like you're watching Pretty Woman, and then the third reel got cut out and someone put in Texas Chainsaw Massacre instead, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty apt.
Yeah.
That's definitely a good way to put it.
Yeah. So, Dustin,
Yes.
one of you.
Yeah, we'll let you go.
Yeah, what's your history with this movie? Well, you've kind of talked about your history with the movie, but yeah, what did this viewing illuminate?
So I remembered how fucked up it was, but I did forget of how slow it was. And I like that when it comes to like methodical horror, like this movie is, because thinking about it a little bit more, it's like this whole movie, this producer ends up falling in love with this woman, but it's like slowly he's going fucking crazy, and we're along for the ride.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Mhm.
It's definitely my favorite of the pair we're gonna do tonight.
Mm.
And yeah, I love how gnarly the end gets, how fucking wild the end. Because I watched it at work today, and I'm sitting there just like watching everything, and I'm like, huh, all right, okay. Why the fuck are we back in bed with him from half a movie ago? Type of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But no, it's a banger. It is a banger. So, little D, what about you, man?
All right. So a lot of my history with horror movies comes from a friend who had a giant collection, and he was also a very big J horror fan. So he definitely had Audition, and he had Itchy in it. So through him, I've watched both of these. But with Audition, I remember watching this in the entire time, just being very, very unsettled and being like, I like this feeling, but I don't know if I can do a whole movie like this. I did, because there's little payoffs that go about that kind of let you breathe a little bit. But the story of this, of a guy just like, I'm gonna host an audition essentially for me to find a woman, which is like so fucking weird.
It's his
Yeah.
line of business, though. It's what he's accustomed to. It is odd, but it's like,
Yeah.
do something you're familiar with, I suppose. I don't know.
I mean, sure. But yeah, just like the rabbit hole you go down, and like you're going into his world and you're going into her world, and this is like how it blends together. And also with this being shot on like a handheld camera too, just makes it even more like uneasy, and you being like, whoa, I don't know how I feel about it. But no, it opened up a big door for me to be like, I love J horror. Like, I love the way they
Yeah.
tell stories over there versus how we do it here. We would never, I think, ever film anything like this here in the States, and in that type of way,
Yeah.
So for it to be like that, and then also the payoff at the end, and then also you being like, wait, what just happened?
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, I kind of like this, and it sits with you for a while. So like, that's what happened. Like, I watched it and I was like, I'm thinking of this movie all the time, and it's not good, but I love it.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of David Lynch in that, I mean, no one
Sure.
in America makes movies like David Lynch at all. And this one has a very similar vibe in terms of like, wait, what's real? Is this happening to him? Is this a flashback? Is this a vision? Is he just drugged out of his mind? Like, what is actually real and what's actually happening? I think the overall plot is pretty straightforward. It's just, how much does the character of the dad know who's holding these auditions? How much does he actually see and witness versus how much of this is just visions that are somehow happening to him? It's
Sure.
I don't think there's a definitive answer to any of it.
Maybe in the book. I haven't read the book. I wonder how that that kind of goes.
I didn't know it was a novelization until you just brought it up. I mean, it's that's very interesting. They might have left out a lot of those details, translating it to film, than it would make sense in the book.
Yeah, I haven't read either of the source materials that these are based on, but I did add the audiobook for this one into my into my Everand account. Just because I'm very curious to see how this plays out with like in a prose form, because like you guys said, it's very, like you mentioned, the handheld camera work, which almost gives it like a totally voyeuristic feel, like in certain, especially when you're just watching two people connecting. It's almost like there's an uneasy feeling because you're like almost an unwilling third participant in this, where like,
Sure, yeah.
at this point something is up, but like you don't know what is up, and it's just kind of like you're just waiting for that other shoe to drop, and it's just nerve-wracking the whole time, even though not a lot happens in the first 2/3 of this. You don't even get to meet the actress until like it's like a half an hour into the movie,
Yeah.
but the whole thing is like it captures you.
Yeah, I mean, especially like right in the beginning, you had the scene with the father and son together having dinner after they catch that fish, and the entire scene is pretty much I think it's all one take, but it's like shot from behind them, watching them eat dinner and having a conversation about how the dad should start dating again and get remarried, and how the son thinks he's lonely and missing out on life. And yeah, it's like you said, Sam, you're a fly on the wall watching these characters. And once Asame gets introduced into the movie, you're still just a fly on the wall while watching her and the dad connect in that way. Yeah, it just feels like you're watching two characters connect, and then all of a sudden, yeah, like you said, Sam, like Joe Lynch said in his review, then you're just thrown in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre by the third act. And it's like, okay, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
But I think there's enough going on in those first two acts, especially... I think there is nuggets of horror thrown in there, obviously. The scene that scared me the most is the guy that's in the bag in her hotel room, when it just rolls over. I'm like, oh God.
Yeah. That's the gotcha moment.
But it's also like the sound he makes. Like, you don't realize it's a person.
Someone's in there.
Yeah, because of the sound. But then at the end of the movie, like you're given these breadcrumbs, like, oh, there's feet missing, there's a fucking tongue laying here, that it's someone trying to speak without a tongue. I'm like, now it makes more sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I do dig this. Like, up until like the audition process, when he goes through like all these women, and Asame walks in she's the last one, and she comes in, she's very, you know, to herself, and, you know, not really outgoing, to the point where he passed on her.
Yeah.
He passed on her, but then I love it because, like, we see, like, she left that impression on him, to the point where at home calls her late in the evening, you know, and he's like, sorry, I'm calling you so late. And she goes, oh, it's okay. I mean, as long as I got the audition, you know? So
yeah.
I dig that. I dig, it's like, it's almost like she knows she's dangling this carrot in front of someone who is that desperate.
Yeah.
And I like that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, her backstory is like really weird too, because we start getting a little bit more of like where she kind of came from, and she had this like teacher, and then we kind of go back and revisit that place, and then just all hell kind of like breaks loose there, and that's when you're like really going super far into the craziness of the film. But yeah, definitely the first two acts, the way that they build these characters and get you to like them, even though I'm still kind of up in the air if I'm supposed to like the dad or not, because he does some things that it's just like, yeah, it's a little, maybe you shouldn't do that.
He's a little creepy, and he's and he's, I mean, he's a misogynist. I think we can say that, at least for some of the things that he's doing, but like, it's never to a point where it's like, you're like, oh, he deserves what's coming to him at the end. Like, it's never, you know, like, it's like, well, the guy's kind of a dick, but like, does he deserve to have needles shoved into him? And, you know,
and I don't even think he's a dick. I think he's just misguided, and someone who hasn't had a connection in a very long time.
And I also think that might play into like his age and culture too. Like,
right.
I personally don't think he was intentionally being like that. I think that's just how he is.
Right.
Yeah.
So, which I think is, again, it's another character trait where it's like, you do feel bad for him, because you're like, wow, I watched him be this type of way, but like Casey just said, like, he doesn't deserve to get his fucking foot cut off.
Yeah.
You know? So, but
because you think about like the time frame of where this movie is and his age, and it's like, well, that was a very different time. Like, that was what, you know. Yeah. So it is when he gets his like comeuppance in the end, it's like, oh, that's not very, like, that's maybe too extreme a little bit. It's the Midsommar thing, where it's like, between the theatrical and the director's cut, there's a distinct line of like, in the theatrical, you're kind of like, well, I don't know if Jack Rayner really deserved what he got at the end of that. The director's cut totally like adds in more that makes it that way. And I feel like this goes in the direction of like, more of like, he doesn't deserve that. And that's where the horror comes in, especially because like his kid's witnessing it too at the end.
Oh yeah,
And
but
like his son's the one like pressured him essentially to be like, yeah, you need to go out. I'm so tired of seeing you here lonely. You know?
Right.
And I wouldn't even say pressured, because I've been in that scenario. Like my parents got divorced not maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, but my dad and stepmom were together for over 20 years.
Mm.
You know, and like watching this man become a shell, I'm like, dude, you need to do something. You know, like you need to get out there. You're not as worthless as you think you are. You know, so that's why I feel like I gravitated more towards this one, because I feel like I've been there.
Sure.
But
Right.
you also, I mean, back to the dad, it's like he is, in a sense, respectful, because like she gets naked in front of him and lays in the bed, and he walks over there and doesn't take advantage of that. He's still trying to go to the
That is
fucking
true.
museum. He wants to go
Mhm.
get this coffee, and he's living in his old ways. I don't even know how. Did they say how old he is by chance? Did I miss it?
I think so, but I think we can assume he's like late
And his-
40s, early 50s, maybe.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, I would
'cause-
assume his son is probably 15, 16 years old.
yeah,
because he makes a point to say that she's a very attractive 24-year-old. Like he lets everybody know that a lot, you know. So, but to the fact where he's respectful enough to, you know, not take advantage of what's happening due to his age and shit like that. I'm just on that boat of he didn't deserve it
yeah,
at the end.
It was
you
fun
know?
to
So
watch though.
I'm not complaining what happened, but man, that ending though, like I said, that third act where we meet this guy in a wheelchair eventually, and we're like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
At this point, and we learn who it is because she gives, like, while she's laying there naked, she like pulls the sheet up from her feet to like reveal some burn marks. She goes, "When I was younger, my uncle used to burn me," and that comes into play later because we again, we're like this third wheel of watching flashbacks with this new guy in it.
Yeah.
I'm like, how is he able to experience these flashbacks, Scooby-Doo style, and be a part of it? Like, it's odd, like how he gains the knowledge of putting the puzzle pieces together himself by not being told anything.
Yeah. And that's
What kind of
where like
fucking drugs is he on?
Everything.
yeah, I think that's where like the Lynch aspect comes in. Like Casey's comparison to Lynch is like there's not a lot, and we'll get into this in the second movie, especially like when you start getting into the third act and how information's revealed. It doesn't always make logical sense. It's just kind of presented in a very just cinematically beautiful way, you know.
Yeah, I think it's important more so for the movie than making logical sense in terms of how does he actually know this stuff? Like, he's never been to her to the hotel she's in. Like, why would he have any sort of vision of what that looks like?
You know what? Now that I think about it, and you mentioned it, I wonder how this is narrated in the book.
Yeah.
I bet you we are the reader, this male character who's like watching all the shit happen.
Yeah,
that
could be.
Gotta get this
Man.
audiobook.
Well,
for
Sam,
sure.
Sam will let us know.
yeah.
I want to talk a little bit more about Asame's backstory and like how they use ballet in this movie. Because after watching it, I was like, why did they choose ballet as the thing for her? Because obviously she's auditioning to be an actress in a movie. Could have just made her an actress. But it's the fact that they use ballet. And for me, ballet has always had this weird thing about it where it's like it's a very torturous art form where like, especially like on women's feet, where like your feet are deformed forever if you become a professional ballet performer. And that's what this really sets up, is that I feel like she associates ballet with both love and hurt. And that's what we see later on in the movie, is she associates those two things together. Not only like ballet physically hurting her, like the performance, but also her uncle abusing her and relating it to that's, you know, she was abused as a child, and relates that to how she affects men as an adult, and now she's inflicting that pain and torture back to someone, even if they don't deserve it, because obviously she didn't deserve that as a child. And I don't know, I think it's a really interesting way to look at how she views the world and how she views other people.
I think maybe she came from that school from Suspiria.
She might have, yeah.
Might have, yeah.
Sort of magic.
Yeah.
That weirdo with no legs who had like wooden things on the bottom of his stumps, like he would definitely be in that Suspiria school.
I think that was her uncle. That's how he got around outside of the wheelchair. The guy in the wheelchair we learn is the uncle.
Yeah, he survived after she took his feet.
Yeah,
just made like little goblin feet on plywood for himself.
he's fucking Cotton Hill out there, just
the shins.
Yeah, he's out there telling God damn it, dude. But yeah, like I agree with that. Like I feel like ballet is a very disciplinary type of dance form, and she's very disciplined when it comes to, in both terms. You know, like between her dancing and at home. For no reason. But she also, she brought up the fact that she was kicked down some stairs and broke her collarbone or
she
something.
like broke her, was it her hip, and she couldn't do ballet anymore or something like that?
Yeah. That's what it
is that what it is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and she can't do something she loves anymore, so that's why she was trying acting.
Yeah, that was a huge foreshadow moment when she's like, yeah, I was kicked down the stairs when I was little. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I also kind of like how there's a bit of like an emptiness to her, where like she's got like a lot of backstory and how she was raised and what she had to deal with. But even like when she's on screen, it's like there's a weird bit of emptiness. Even at the end when we get the the reveal of like how crazy she really is, like even during that, like she's very, very cold, and it's just like this is just me.
She has zero color on her. She's wearing white the entire movie. The only time we see any form of color is when she's wearing the apron at the end, ready to torture the dude and take his ankles.
That's what I was about to get at. Is with her wearing all that white, it's very spectral. It's very dead of her to wear that color. And she's very, I kind of disagree with you on that. At the end, she's very animated. She's very methodical. When the sun comes home, dude, and she's fucking scurrying across the floor to get around, dude, it's a different person we're watching when, she's sitting there in the act of doing of what she loves now. And
torture.
Exactly. Yeah, it's being fulfilled and all that shit, dude. But I don't know. I did like that. I liked how she seemed like and again, look at her past. I mean, she is she's hollow because of that, like everything we literally just touched on.
And like going back to like her hotel room, whatever, when we get the jump scare, how she's just looking at the phone ringing, it's just the back of her head, and you got that creepy shot. Like, I don't know. They've got something with women with long black hair over in Japan and Korea and everything like that, with that type of like way that they show creepiness.
Dude, I wish I had hair to complain about, Dustin.
I'm sorry. You want mine?
No, I don't want yours.
But no, that scene right there, this before even a jump scare, I just love the imagery. Like
she's just been waiting for the phone to ring.
Yeah. I want to screenshot that and just put that up on my wall because of how creepy and but yet beautiful that is.
Yeah, but I do like after they end up doing the deed in the hotel room, and she disappears without a fucking trace, even though he has her information. They're like, well, you have her resumes. None of it's real. And I dig that. She just disappears. Like, Casey, when you read that little snippet at the beginning, it's like, that is the whole movie. Literally the whole fucking movie you read. But man, it's awesome because she is only found when she wants to be found at that point. And it's because of what else she does, her extracurriculars. And then we eventually get to meet the man in the sack, which
we do.
Wild.
Which is who she said was her agent, right? that she took
Yeah.
like 3 of his fingers,
Yeah.
his tongue, his ear, and then his
Yep.
his ankles too.
Oh my god, dude! But
And the
it's
fact
me-
when they talk about that, when he first finds out that that's something she might have done, and you see like the tongue like flopping on the ground, it's so gross.
yeah, in the lobby of that fucking hotel room.
Yep,
Dude,
yep.
I think Takashi Miike has a thing for tongues because there's a tongue scene that we'll talk about in Itchy the Killer too.
Yeah,
I think it's got a thing for a lot of things, especially in that movie.
Yeah.
but it's meal time. It's yummy time with this fucking man in the bag, dude. Because,
Oh god.
because golly, I mean, it makes sense. He has no tongue. I mean, how else is he gonna eat than fucking drink?
Yeah.
And that's the only way he. Oh my god, dude, it's so gross, but it's striking, and he's standing there watching all this happen, and and she's acting like it's just it's 5 o'clock, it's time to feed, whatever.
Just eating like I don't know what slop that is, like out of a
It looked
dog
like
bowl.
milk. It looked like
That's
milk.
Everything.
It's like vomit.
Yeah,
nasty.
It could have been his previous vomit. Who knows?
Yeah, she's blending up his fucking fingers is what she did.
Speaking of dogs, this movie commits the cardinal sin.
I did not even want to bring it up.
It's the one thing I don't like. It's she murders the dog, and then I wrote down this bitch has to die.
Yeah.
Yes.
That goodest boy, man. Beagles are so fucking cute.
Yep. Up until that point, I was on like team like she really hasn't done anything wrong, you know, like she's fine. and then she killed a dog, and I was like, okay, I'm done with her.
Yep.
Like
That's
she's gone.
Where's John Wick? This needs to be over.
Yeah.
Dude.
So like the torture scene, she's like, she drugs him out. She puts in some weird drug like on his tongue, and it like numbs his body. I don't know. It's really weird. It's like a weird place to put it on his tongue.
Too many needles in this scene, man. Too many needles.
Yeah, and then like shoving needles all in his stomach, underneath his eyes. Oh, I think that's worse than in his eyes. Like under his eyes.
Yeah.
That's so.
You're gonna be numb and you're gonna be awake. You're not necessarily gonna feel it, but I want you to see it.
Yeah,
crazy.
Like, she gives him like a lobotomy.
Yeah.
It's wild,
like,
man.
He can't move, but he can feel everything. Like I'm like, nope. And
then
the
she
sound
takes
design.
The sound design in both of these movies is insane.
Yeah.
Yep. But leading up to this point is kind of like when he's numb and shit is like, that's when we get hit with everything. It shows the uncle burning her on the thigh. Then we end up meeting this teenager that we met earlier in the movie that apparently this guy ended up doing some things with.
Or did he? I don't know. Like,
or did he? Exactly.
Yeah.
We don't know what the fuck's going on, man. And
one thing they show in that vision though is he definitely slept with his like assistant, because she shows up quite often throughout the movie, and she's definitely like hinting at, hey, like I'm telling you I'm getting married. Do you have anything to say about it? Huh?
Oh, what? What'd you say? Oh,
yeah.
Yep.
And then we watch her decapitate the uncle with the garrote wire.
Yeah.
And then he wakes back up in the bed that they just had sex in halfway through the movie ago. And in my brain, I'm like, okay, because it's been since, Hot Topic that I watched this. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And then I remember, I'm like, I just seen a scene where she had some dude in a bag. I'm like, so something has to really be happening to this guy. And then it reverts right back to him getting the needle stuck in him. And I'm like, okay, so now we're back on track. Like, I didn't know what trip I was on. I guess his trip. I don't know, but
yeah, they definitely make you feel like you're a bit crazy watching this film, being like, what's real and what's not real, and that's what I like about it.
What I'm glad though is we didn't watch the foot get severed. We heard it.
We heard, and then we saw her like just yeet it at the window.
Yeet it at the window.
Yep.
Well, I didn't want to see her sit there doing this with the fucking wire on his ankles, dude, because that was like, all right, I don't know how much more of that I can handle. That was pretty wild, man. And then the son walks in, and she's like, fuck, and she's spider monkeying around, and she picks up the squirt bottle, dude, and that squirt bottle has to have the same stuff that he was paralyzed with, because she is very dependent on it.
I think so, yeah.
Yep.
Man, but dude, he fucking
Kicks her down the stairs.
bro,
Full circle moment.
That Leonidas kick, dude. She doesn't even hit the stairs. She fucking flies past them, dude. It was. She's not a big lady to begin with, and I don't know, but he fucking yeets her down those stairs, dude. And you just watch, and her fucking collarbone breaks again.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and the conversation that they're having as she's dying is fucking awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
So good. And that's when he's able to finally move, so he's crawling around talking to her with needles poked out of his face and shit like that.
Oh,
yeah. No, that's a really good scene. I love how that all gets wrapped up. I do.
Yeah. This is a movie that's a little bit like Society, where you've got to wait until the third act for the really good stuff, but then when the really good stuff hits, it makes the whole journey worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like they're structured very similarly. I don't know.
Yeah.
If we didn't do a Miike double feature, like, this would pair well with Society, I feel like.
I think everything pairs well with Society.
That's fair.
The only piece of trivia I have before we get to our final thoughts on the movie is that when she's, severing his ankle at the end in the book, spoiler, Sam, if you don't want to know what happens in the book.
Oh, I think I read into this.
Yeah. They take both of his feet off during that. In the screenplay, though, they take none of his feet. So Takashi Miike settled in the middle. Is like, fine, I'll take 1 foot. That's all I'll do.
So in the book, does he make himself goblin feet too, with little planks of wood under them?
Maybe, I don't know.
To walk around with?
It's like a fucking pirate out there.
Just a double peg-legged pirate.
He's like, I want legs that are now like 4 feet tall. He wants to be the tallest man at work.
Yeah. No better time than just to get a built-in pair of stilts,
There you go.
Hell yeah.
All right, Sam, final thoughts on Audition, and what are you giving this movie out of 5 severed feet?
Yeah, I dug Audition a lot. I think this movie is great. The more I sit with it, the more I like it. So I'm gonna give this 4 out of 5. I love I love the way it like reverses kind of like the typical gender roles that you see in a horror movie. Like any other horror movie, it's the white lady going through crisis and her sassy friends like telling her, don't go to that guy's house. And this totally reverses that in a glorious way. And I don't know. I appreciated this. I appreciated its rom-com meets grindhouse kind of vibe. And yeah. Casey, this would be a good late night one sometime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Dustin.
Yes.
Final thoughts.
Little D, you can go first this time.
Okay. Me, since this has such a big impact on me and what really opened the door for me to want to go watch more J-horror, it's a 5 out of 5. Every time I watch this, it's a blast. There's not really anything in here I'd be like, well,
a blast.
Probably work on that a little bit. But
okay.
I like it a lot, and I like the element of you thinking about it, be like, oh, is it real? Is it not real? Was it in his head? What's going on? The whole ending of this like really makes you think, and I love that about movies, when it makes me think and also enjoy the movie and want to go back and watch it again. This definitely has like rewatchability to it. So if you watch it and you're like, oh, I want to go back and see, does this tie into that? Does this happen here? It's fun. So definitely 5 out of 5.
Hell yeah. All it's missing, dude, is like one of those montages. That's what it's missing. But as for me, it's I dig it. I dig it a lot. Like it's not a good time, but it's a good movie. Like Sam was saying, it's like typically the roles are reversed. It's usually the man that is in control of all this, and he's the one cutting up ankles and shit like that. But this time, it's not. It's someone you least expect to do it, which I find deceiving. I really like it. I'm giving this 4 goblin feet out of 5.
Yeah, I'm right there with everyone. I'm also at 4 severed feet out of 5 severed feet. This movie is tremendous. I can't wait to rewatch it. I think the slow burn works better than most slow burns work because you are totally invested in the characters, and then when shit hits the fan, it's like, oh my god, like what is happening? Why is this happening? And still by the end, you're like, what the hell is going on with all these visions that are happening with our main character? And it's like, what does he actually know? What doesn't he know? And I think it's a movie that warrants multiple rewatches.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I think Audition's it's a home run. It's a fantastic horror movie, and I think it does subvert those, not only like the sort of like torture porn, a bit misogynistic horror movies, but also feminist movies. Like I think it subverts both at the same time. I can't think of very many movies that do both. Like I don't think this is a feminist movie at all.
No, I don't think so either, but it's not a misogynist.
Yeah, it's not.
Either.
It's something that subverts both of them. It's wild. Wild.
It's not even so much a good for her moment movie either.
No.
So, yeah.
It's not good for her or him. Like, it's just bad for everyone.
Bad for everyone.
Yeah, it's good for the son because he got the final say, I guess, in all of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was just a kid who liked dinosaurs. Like, I can relate to that guy.
Yeah.
Dude, who doesn't like dinosaurs?
Yeah, he was super relatable. We have to give him that. Sam, are we ready to move on to our next movie?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. If you guys didn't surmise from my heaping of praise on Audition, this next one maybe wasn't as much for me.
We're going to leave that as a tease, but before we get to that movie, we got to go to our first little ad read that we got to give off here to our friends at Fangoria. For over 40 years, Fangoria has been the leading source for all things horror. The famed magazine is back with a vengeance every quarter with new in-depth discussions on the best contemporary horror, sci-fi, and macabre. You can use our affiliate link to save 20% on your annual subscription to the magazine, back issues, and latest Fango merch. Visit shop.fangoria.com/screams from the basement and use promo code Screams from the Basement at checkout to save 20%. Link in the episode description. Sam, Itchy the Killer. Let's jump into this.
Yeah.
I should have realized when we did this and maybe given you a warning. This wasn't gonna this might not work for you.
Yeah, I feel like you know me. I feel like you know the types of things that turn me off from movies. So yeah. Yeah.
And that's had a lot of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What might those things be?
Just the brutality of the sexual violence was
sure. That's 100%
very prominent in this one.
A bit much for me. I did not care for that aspect.
Sam, how much did you know about this movie going in?
So,
because like every description of this starts with a sadomasochist.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so like I was expecting like Hellraiser levels of gore with Yakuza hitmen in it because I knew it was like that, you know? And I'd seen the Hook practical, like the guy strung up on hooks practical effect. Like, I'd seen the trailer to this, I think at the State Theater for something. Yeah. And I thought that Ichi the Killer was, you know, that Chelsea Smile, like, scarred up guy, and it threw me when that was not the case. I'm like, wait, so who's I'm like, Ichi's just this little, like, sad sack loser? Like, what the fuck?
Hey, he is now our Lord Raiden, okay?
Okay.
He's not some sad loser, boy.
This guy who's wearing a cheap knockoff Kick-Ass costume.
I love it.
I was like, what the fuck? No, so... Yes, there were elements of this that gratuitously turned me off of it. But there's plenty to discuss. There's plenty to love about this movie. The costuming, we're going to talk about the costuming.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good. Yeah. So, yeah, I liked parts of it. Didn't, as a whole, love it.
Sure.
But, yeah.
Fair, yeah.
Big D,
Dustin
this was a first time
and
watch
or
for you,
Dustin.
right?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
this was a
let's-
first
okay.
time watch for me. Working at the movie store for 5 to 7 years, this is a cover I always passed. And like you, Sam, I thought this fucking guy was Ichi the Killer.
Yeah.
All the way up until halfway through this movie, I'm like, wow, he's not. I'm like, when are they going to start calling him Ichi? But I am in the same boat with you. Like the gratuitous acts of sex violence at the beginning of this movie, I'm not going to say it's unwarranted because it does drive some of the story, but he also, and I'm not going to say it's justified either, but this dude ends up getting killed. So it's like it's like a double-edged foot blade when with this particular scenario, I had no idea it was a manga.
Oh, really?
No, none at all. Up until watching it, I'm like, wow, this is very comic book level of violence. Like the hook scenes when they're pulling that dude's fucking cheeks out. I'm like, all right, this is and then we're gonna talk about one part that makes me die anytime I see it. But yeah, first time watch. Were there things that turned me off a little bit, but at the end of the day, I feel like justice was served to as best as it could be by a little fucking wimpy cry boy. Our Lord Raiden.
Yeah.
Little D, what about you, man?
So like I said, I had a friend who introduced me to a lot of movies, and he introduced me to this one. I think it was pretty close to when I watched Audition. He handed me, I don't know if he found the movie an FYE or if he ripped it or whatever, but it was not a good version of this. It was very grainy and very kind of unwatchable. But I watched it anyway, and I remember, watching this and being like, okay, this is crazy. I don't think I should be watching this movie, but I'm watching it. And, you see like giant pools of blood splatting on walls. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. But like, yeah, with the sexual violence and stuff, it's like, oh, yeah, I don't think we need that. But also, after watching this, I found out also, I was like, oh, this is based off of a manga. Okay, so that explains why things are pretty exaggerated in some ways. And I mean, the face opening up, grabbing the guy's hand, like that's so straight out of the book, man.
That was my favorite part of this whole movie.
So good. Yeah.
So fucking good.
But-
So like it like gave me the heebies, like but oh my god, it was so funny. Like that part killed me.
Yeah. But I remember watching it and kind of forgetting about this movie for a while because it's like I don't really want to remember this one because of how fucking crazy it is, and it's also pretty long. It's like over 2 hours. So when this list was brought and I saw it on there, I was like, holy fuck. All right. So we definitely got to try to go on and talk about this one. I was like, I haven't heard of Ichi the Killer in years. I don't even think that many people even talk about this movie. Probably because of said reasons we're talking about right now. It's just like, kind of have to tiptoe around some things. It's a little crazy, but
If
it's a film if you want to be more unsettled than Audition in a way and maybe leave scarred, and maybe check this one out
and maybe question why you're laughing at this movie, because this movie is like really funny, but it's also like super dark.
It is
such a wild tone of a movie.
Other than that beginning part, like this is a fun movie. Like there's shit that happens in it that's like you're having fun. Like but that's the comic book aspect of this movie.
Yeah.
Or the manga. Sorry.
Yeah.
But Casey, what about you, man?
Yeah, get it right.
Yeah, this is the second time I've watched this. It's been quite a while since I've watched this movie, and yeah, I obviously had seen that cover so many times, like, and being like, what the hell is this movie? And yeah, I have to say, we've talked about it. That's not Ichi. Ichi is the little sad sack dressed like Kick-Ass. Kakihara is the guy on the cover. I think he's a top tier horror character. I think he is incredible in this movie. He has an incredible look, incredible style, sick, fucked up person. Here's my question before we even jump into the plot and all that fun stuff. Who's the protagonist of this movie?
The kid.
I was actually going to bring that up. It's like, who are we supposed to be rooting for?
The kid.
I think it's Kakihara. I think he's the protagonist.
Yakuza leader?
I think he's the protagonist, and I think Ichi's the antagonist, right?
I don't think there are
the
protagonists
father is
and
definitely the
antagonists in this.
antagonist. The guy
The
who's
old
always
man?
pushing Ichi to
Yeah, the old man. Yeah. Who
He's
is
definitely-
super buff.
Oh my god. That scene was hilarious, but awful. Just like, what?
so good.
It's incredible.
What? Yeah. Can I share a 2-star review of this that I found on Letterboxd that
Sure.
cracked me up? It's really good, actually. It's just one line.
Do it.
All the thematic subtext of Fight Club, delivered with the nuance of Kung Pao Enter the Fist.
Interesting.
And I saw that review before I started watching this movie. And I didn't get that comparison at all until the giant the guy takes his
The buff
clothes
old
off
man,
and he's
yeah.
giant. Yeah.
The editing.
I was
on
like,
that is
okay, there's
top
the
tier.
Kung Pao Enter the Fist of this movie.
Yeah.
Big
Fucking
D, you
King
might be
Boomy
muted.
out there.
Oh, there you go.
I'm an idiot. I was coughing. But I stand corrected. The Kakihara, that character, is now our Raiden, not stupid Ichi. So I don't
Oh,
care
okay.
Ichi
Yeah,
anymore.
you're talking to the Yakuza leader.
I
yeah.
looked him up afterwards. He's Thor's friend in the Thor movies.
He's also
Yeah.
in Shogun.
He's in Shogun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
He's
yeah.
won
yeah.
awards.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so-
Yeah,
But
he's
yeah, you got.
Hogan, right? Is that his name in Thor?
Yeah, he's part of the Warriors 3.
Yeah, the Warriors 3, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you got that old fucking guy out there looking like Bolo Young, dude. I love it, man. He's out there about to get into the Kumite to fight Jean-Claude, but man, that's when it came to when I was watching this movie and I brought it up a little bit ago. When the dude is suspended in air, and you see the texture of his skin, how it's stretched, I'm like, okay, I can see the comic booky, shenanigans that are about to happen. And then he's cooking fucking tempura over there.
Oh god.
Oh, yeah.
And he starts pouring the grease on him. But the fact that man survived, and I wish, I don't remember, do we see him outside of the rags after we do? Okay.
No, we don't see him outside
just
of the rags. No.
Just in the
No.
rags, dude. I wish
Yeah.
we got to see what he looked like after he was, tortured.
Are you sure?
How fuck, yeah, it'd be like straight up Dick Tracy stuff, dude. Like, get out of here. You're telling me that shit wouldn't be comically
He
weird
looked
if
like
his
Bark
burns would
Man.
Yeah, his burns would just be so fucking silly, dude. But yeah,
Well, let's jump into it. Let's jump back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Yes.
sorry,
First of all-
I got excited.
No.
I was-
I'm excited to talk about this.
I was muted, and I said all of that while I was muted.
Directed by, of course, Takashi Miike, written by Sakachi Sato, based on the manga by Hideo Yamamoto. This is Ichi the Killer, a sadomasochist killer enforcer of the Yakuza, hunts for a serial killer known as Ichi, who has been killing members of the gang in acts of sadistic revenge. Kakihara, the sadomasochist, in return seeks ultimate pleasure from the only person to be his equal, which is Ichi. It's a love story, guys. All he wants is someone on his level to give him the love he wants, and he knows Ichi is that person.
It's because his boss is gone.
Mhm.
His boss is one that gave him everything.
And Ichi killed him.
Yeah,
like
he's
he's
looking for his
out for
boss.
revenge and love at the same time.
There's also, I think, another movie that came out later on. I think it's like Ichi the Killer 1 or something
there's
weird.
One or two prequels to this.
Yeah, so there's more to it. So I mean, like, if you like this and you're like, I want more, go ahead and watch it.
I don't
All
know,
right.
man. I don't know if I can handle another title card like the one we got in this.
Yeah.
Cum shot title card.
Yeah, get the fuck out. He should have just wrote it in there. He's ended up writing it with a stick, dude. It's so fucking
Yeah.
gross.
According to Takashi Miike, the shot of the plant is actual semen. Whose? I don't know. I don't want to know.
his.
That's what he said, though.
It's his.
Oh.
I mean, there's only one way to know that it's actual semen, Casey, and so I think we can put two and two together.
Now, I'm not saying that he has to be in the same room as it, but I feel like if he's sitting all the way over there, I mean, I'd be more impressed at that
Yeah.
point, you know?
Just the prop guy shows up to set one day with this plant that's just covered in goo, and they're like,
Dude,
"Where,
oh my
where'd you get the goo?" I made it.
That's what it is, dude. He had the fucking PA walk over to him with the plant, had the PA hold the plant while he did the...
We don't want to cause any allegations against Takashi Miike. I'm gonna say it was some weirdo prop master who just brought it in one day. He doesn't know where it came from. He said he made it. I trust
with
him.
it, man. I don't know.
He came,
don't
yeah,
want it.
exactly.
Yeah.
God.
Oh God. Yeah.
Yep.
Honestly, one of the better title cards I've seen in a movie.
It's right up there with Freddy versus Jason, dude. It looks pretty fucking good.
Mm.
Yeah.
Or Seed of Chucky.
Yeah, see the Chucky ones.
Does
Mhm.
does the
Yeah.
semen title card for that one too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ah, so
Was
good.
that Takashi Miike as well?
More movies need to have semen title cards.
Yes,
That's
agreed.
what we're saying.
That's what we're getting
It's like
at.
the Metallica cover of, was it Fuel?
Oh yeah,
That
where
one.
it's like blood and yeah.
Yeah.
Get
If
outta
the
here.
Minecraft movie had a semen title card, I'd go watch it.
Oh, chicken semen.
Oh,
And this is the
no.
last episode of Screams from the Basement after we got
Everybody's
taken
just
off
in
of
the- instead
every
throwing
single.
popcorn, they're all throwing loads.
No, dude,
No.
shut up. That's disgusting.
That's in special anniversary screenings of Itchy the Killer.
They just pass a jar along through the whole theater.
What is happening?
We're definitely gonna have to make sure we mark explicit on this.
I don't know,
Eh,
man.
Who cares? We're talking Itchy the Killer. Like this is
Yeah.
all stuff that's in the movie.
It's fair game.
Yeah.
But this opening title card, like, when all is said and done, and old buddy goes to look out the window, like this isn't the first time apparently that we learned that Itchy has witnessed this event.
Yeah.
Because he makes a comment to her later in her work. She's a working woman of the night. No, you know,
Yep.
get that bread somehow. It does not matter to me.
Yup.
And he goes, it's worse this time because you see her face after he's beat the shit out of her. And it's like, how often does this happen? But at the same time, it's like, does she like it? Because she sits there and convinces Itchy, or not really convinces, like nonchalantly plants seeds saying, hey, it'd be really cool if he was dead. You know,
Yeah.
it'd be even cooler if you did it. And then he shows up one night while this is happening and does the deed, and she tries to fucking kill him.
Well, because he says he's like, yeah, I killed him. Now I'm gonna be the one that
Yeah.
abuses you.
She's like, oh, you're gonna hurt me now? Yeah.
But, yeah. Okay. But I didn't know if it was one of those things where it's like she was mad that he killed this guy because she had, in fact, liked it.
I don't think she wanted him dead. I do think she wanted him to obviously not beat the shit out of her. Like, I think
Yeah.
that's very
Yeah.
clear. Yeah, I don't think she wanted him dead per se, and I don't think Itchy wanted to kill him. Well, we see that throughout the entire movie. Itchy doesn't want to kill anyone. He's like,
Like they say,
he
it's
is
an old bully.
so against violence. Like,
But let
but
me ask you
also
this.
he is a sick weirdo pervert who
Yeah.
whacks off into a plant outside of someone's room. Like, what? He's such a
Let me-
weird character. Itchy is such
Yeah.
a weird character to understand.
But let me ask you this. When you get upset and you're sad and you're angry, do you throw spinning heel kicks?
What I do in my
I
spare
wish.
time is none of your business.
Oh, sorry.
No, I think it's a bit of a I think he was at that point ready to kill that guy.
Yeah.
But I
But he
think the
does it
cycle of
multiple
abuse
times.
begin again.
Yeah, but he does it multiple times throughout the movie. That's how he ends up killing all these people, is spitting heel kicks, but being upset and crying and hurt and like that. That's how he reacts. Is just fucking martial arts.
Yeah. I mean, people like to talk about Tarantino's in defeat, but like Takashi Miike is up there, right? Like on one hand, Audition is a movie about the world's sickest foot fetish, and
Yeah.
now this one's all about the dopest pair of Heelys anyone's ever bought in their lives. You know, like
Yeah.
There's killer feet in this one, dude. I mean, all needs to happen is Itchy needs to put his foot in Tarantino's mouth and pour some fucking tequila down it.
Well, if you ever hear Tarantino talk about Takashi Miike, that's basically what's happening.
that's fair. Yeah.
There you go. All right, fuck that shit, dude.
Yeah, but okay, here's the thing. I don't understand Itchy as a character, and I don't think we're supposed to. Like, he is so fucked up in the head, obviously.
Yeah.
And he's
Well,
being
he's under
manipulated by
hypnosis.
What's that?
He's under like hypnosis, you find out.
Yeah, later on.
Sort of.
In a
yeah.
way.
Yeah.
As long as you
But like
say,
been manipulated.
hey, I
Yeah.
have these people, and Itchy, they are the bullies from the school when you were watching that woman get raped. And I was just like, what the, like, this whole thing over there. And he's like, as long as you say that to him, he's like, but you're sure they're the bullies? And he just keeps saying, yes, they're the bullies. They are them. Then he'll go and kill them. Whether it's 20 people, one person, he's like, those weren't the bullies. Why'd you make me do that? So yeah, I guess in some sort of way, like, he's doing this weird hypnosis with his giant guns and his small head. And it's just like, I
like
don't
the
know. Like, I was asking myself that too after this watch, because I don't remember exactly like what my thoughts were after I saw this the first time. But I was just like, who am I supposed to be rooting for? They kind of like label it as Ichi's a superhero in a way, and it's like, yeah, he's got a suit with a one on it.
Yeah.
He's the one.
He's got blades that he can retract and go kill people and get blood.
That's why
all
I'm
over
saying
the
I
walls.
think Kakihara is the protagonist of this movie.
Yeah,
He's
I mean,
who we
it kinda
spend
does
the
boil
most
down to
time
that, doesn't
with.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we spend the most time with him. That's why we care about him as much as we do. I feel. I mean, he's not a good guy. Like
No.
but he's doing his job.
And
So
they
that's-
are
that-
like
that-
on the hunt for him. So like in a typical, like, we'll just say a superhero movie, right? We're always hunting for the villain, and we're always focusing on the people who are hunting for that villain. So in a way, they did kind of flip that on its head and be like, we are now following the bad guys who are trying to kill the quote unquote good guy. I don't know.
It's and I don't even know how. I don't remember. Like, this movie's so fucking wild, and you guys will be able to tell me, like, how is Ichi's name brought to the table? Like, why are they like all of a sudden they're
Right
looking-
away at the beginning where you have all that blood all over that building, and then those guys come in and clean it up. They basically say Itchy did this.
Yeah. And then they have the old man, remember, who goes to do that, but then they also find out later that he's connected to this. And I'm sure it explains more in the prequels.
Okay.
Yeah, the old guy is pulling the strings on all sides. He's manipulating Itchy.
Okay.
He's manipulating everyone in the Yakuza, saying it was a member of a rival Yakuza gang that killed the boss. That's why he's torturing that guy, and that's why the old guy runs off later on. So he's like manipulating everything in this movie.
Who told you it was him? It was the old fart.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
And he's just gone.
So you're saying like Itchy's like triggered by these words, like throughout this movie. Are you telling me, Dustin, that Itchy the Killer is the Winter Soldier?
I was about to say he's the incel Winter Soldier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
I
the
guess-
semen
yeah.
Soldier?
Yeah.
Eh.
But we also have like this really sad story going on too with one of the Yakuza guys who is like an ex-cop who I guess got cut out of the force because he lost his gun or something, and he has a son, and he even tells his son like, hey, there's going to be a time where I'm not going to be here anymore and you need to go live with your mom. And he's like, I'm not leaving you. And obviously that leads to what happens at the end
The
of
crescendo,
this
yeah.
movie. But like that, I really like that storyline, and also with it kind of intertwining with him actually meeting Ichi, and he doesn't really realize that until later. And he's like, "You remind me a lot of me when I was like growing up." So I really like that storyline, even though it happens like an hour and a half into this movie.
Yeah.
Because I don't. They must have probably mashed as many of like the mangas in here as possible. I don't know how many like individual ones came out, but this definitely feels like they were like, this is like 5 episodes if we were to like divide it up for how long it is. But I
Do
don't
you
know.
think HBO would do a show for this movie, and each episode would have a different amount of title card?
Yeah, probably.
Like, you know, Peacemaker, like he did his little dance and shit, and it got more elaborate throughout the whole series.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I read somewhere that the hook scene, like the guy being strung up by hooks, was an entire volume of it or something. So I don't
Wow.
know. I'm not sure. I can't remember where I read that, but it was just this definitely feels kind of serialized in a sense. Like it does feel a little episodic, but I like that aspect of it. For one, you get away from the like sexual violence aspect of it and you move on to other things pretty quickly, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and like if there is a section that you're not really like vibing with or a character, like it's on to the next thing so quickly that it's just like, oh, okay. You know, there's
a
like
lot that happens
Yeah.
in just
Yeah.
over 2 hours of this movie. There is so much going on in this movie.
And I was going to say, with it being over 2 hours, nothing drags.
No.
Like, you are
Yeah.
locked into this fucking movie from beginning to end, and you just want to see what's about to happen next.
Like when Ichi goes into that, I forget what point of the movie this happens. I might have been like an hour in, when he goes into that one room and literally slaughters everybody after being in this little room with a computer and a phone. He's like, "Yeah, your bullies are in there. Go kill them." He's like, "Okay." And
You
it's
see like arms and
everybody.
legs flying
Yeah,
out
you
of the
see-
door.
You just hear November, red, circle, and he's reading the fucking Winter Soldier book, dude. And
yeah.
And it's I don't
And
know.
it just
when they
looks
walk
like
into
someone's
that
on the other
after-
side of the door, just feeding people through a wood
Yeah.
chipper. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Just, I don't know. I just love how unfazed. I mean, obviously it's the Yakuza. They've seen some pretty wild shit, but I feel like going into a room like that with literal guts, people sliced in half, things on the wall, I would have been like, yeah, this is a little too much for me. But there is that one guy that's with them, who's with the ex-cop, is always like, yeah, this gets a little much for me.
The big guy, yeah.
He's like, I gotta leave for a little bit because
Yeah.
this is too much for me. And he's like, none of this bothers you? He's like, no, not really.
yeah.
We got to
That's
talk
where he-
about some of these side characters because some of these side characters that are in the Yakuza are so fucking weird. There's one guy who is part of like the cleanup crew who's like a drug addict, and then he ends up in a TV at one point.
Yeah. The TV is weird. I don't
He's
don't
like
get
in
it.
the TV, like
It's
his
just a
knees
cool
are up to his
visual.
chin, like he's in the TV. It's
How'd you
wild.
get the footage in there? Oh, I snuck it in there. Someone told
Yeah.
me to. Oh,
Dude.
okay.
And then the reveal of him on the streets with the
Yeah,
fucking
just in a
needles
trash
all in
pile.
his face, dude, is
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
It's
Also,
it looks
Then you have
great.
those twins that
yeah,
join
the
up
guy
with
who sniffs
Kakihara.
out.
Yeah, who put on dog ears and start sniffing out where
Oh.
Itchy is.
God,
Dude,
yeah.
Let me sniff her real
Dude,
quick.
Dude,
And
when
then this magically finds him. Like, that's definitely some
But
comic
it's-
book shit.
but it's not just that. Like they have like this link with each other too. Like and apparently they
Yeah, one of
They had
them knows when the other one dies. Yeah.
well they had another brother and they're like, well, we knew when he died because we sensed it. And they're him and with the Kakashi, is that his name?
Yeah.
The lip guy, yeah.
Kakihara, yeah.
Or Kakihara.
Kakihara,
Yeah.
sorry. When they're just walking, he goes, "Oh, you know what? Jeff was just killed."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's like,
It's
"How do
just
you
a matter
know?"
of fact.
Yeah, he's like, "How do you know?" And then he's cool with it, but I love it. I love their reveal because they have those weird ass plastic masks on
Mm.
that are see through, but it has like makeup on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a striking image.
And then they're talking about how they made him so shitty.
Oh, dude. Like, I can't fucking breathe in this thing.
What do they have in their hair?
Oh, dude, it's like
Isn't there like Hot Wheels cars and like there's like weird shit in their hair?
I imagine it's like stuff from gashapons that are out in Japan. Like they just get the little toys out there and they just fucking make it, you know, like what's his name from like Marlon Wayans from Don't Be a Menace. How he has like the pacifiers and condoms and shit just all in his hair, dude. But it's great. It's great, man. But the muscle of the henchies in the Yakuza, like how he's the most unsettled because there's always someone getting the shit kicked out of him. He goes, I have to walk away.
Yeah.
I have to not be around this. But then the last time he does it, man, is his demise, dude.
He meets Big Buff Man.
Dude, I lost my shit. You see that old fucking decrepit guy just sitting there, like, we've met him before, but he's, like, telling him this stuff, and you just see him, like, reach and start unbuttoning his fucking shirt, dude.
You just see this old man superimposed face on some bodybuilder's body.
I had to look at the screen like 3 or 4 times, being like, "What's going on?" Rewind that. What just happened? I was like,
It's the King Boomy thing. Like King Boomy does that shit because he's the old decrepit guy from Last Airbender, and he takes his robe off and he's ripped. But man, this fucking
the
guy,
superimposed head was so funny, dude.
the Speedo, fucking killed me, dude. It's like a legitimate bodybuilder. Just sitting there. But I like it because he just grabs the top of his head, dude. And like when we see him, he's all literally bent out of fucking shape because of how his bones are broken, dude. And it's so good. But it is. I love that gag. It's so good.
Yeah. Also, one of the main girls, right, who tries to be like the new like boss to Kakihara when it's like beating. Yeah. And it's also weird. Like, there's sometimes when she's speaking in English, and then other times when she's not. I was like, I did like that too, but it's like she's like the only one that did that though. But like her storyline was really cool. Like we were talking about earlier with the guy getting his like face stretched out. She's like, I'm gonna go join in too. Starts pulling the other side of his face.
Yeah, like she tries to be the replacement for Kakihara, and like she tries to torture him, and he's like, "Yeah, this isn't good enough for me. I'm
hit
ditching
me harder."
Yeah. But apparently,
they go to that one old lady's house, and Kakihara just takes all of her fingers and bends them all the way backwards.
It took her a little bit to realize what just happened too. She was like, "Oh,
wait a goddamn minute."
That scene turned my stomach.
Yeah, but the Karen lady talks about her dialect like it's like for the guy she's talking to, it's like a kink to him. Like she's talking in Japanese, but then she'll finish the sentence in English, and you can see him hit 3 thumbs way fucking up for this guy. And I like that it carried on through the whole movie because she does it to Ichi. She does it, you know, during the torture scene. I really like that. And it's also, I feel like the cadence of the words, like what she's ending the sentence with rhymes with what she's talking about. In Japanese. I like that a lot.
I hate her demise though. I hate how that goes off. Like if we're gonna talk about like a very impactful scene that like really got me, like obviously like she was set up in a way from the old dude to be like, hey, like I'm gonna obviously you do this, so I'm gonna pay you. You're gonna do this, and you need to do this for him, so that way I can further my delusion for him. Essentially, to be like, you were the girl that you saw that was getting fucked up and everything when you were a kid, and and all the bullies, and then she finally is like, I wanted you to rape me. And he goes, you want me to do that,
dude?
Yes.
How that fucked him up, how he did his math after that. I'm like, dude, that's fucked up.
That whole scene, I think out of all like the sexual like assault and violence that happens, that's the hardest one for me to watch, because I liked her as a character, but also to see his switch be like, all right, this is what's gonna happen, and gets her freaking throat slit open.
Yeah.
Awful.
And it's just like it shows so much of the like actual brutality. And I know we watch like a guy get hooked up, but I'm like, they sever a guy's penis and we don't even get to see that.
Mm-mm.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Well, and that's
Equal
another thing.
opportunity dismemberer, you know, like
There you go. But that's another thing too. It's like after watching these two, I'm like, there's no like grotesque nudity in either of these movies. And you know, a lot of it's
someone gets their nipples cut off in this one.
yeah.
Very
but
slowly too.
but it's like no, it's a.
No, I mean like they're doing it bit by bit.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about with all the opportunities both of these movies we're talking about tonight had, it's little to none, and I'm cool with that. And you know, I dig that it's more stylized type of shit. But you're gonna talk about somebody getting shit to cut off, dude. Like after, there's the torture scene. You know,
Which one?
The one with the dude, the dude being suspended.
Yeah.
The hanging guy.
They're like, all right, man. Like the boss, like I don't even think he's the boss. I don't even know who the fuck
He's
he
a
is.
boss of that guy's gang.
Of that, okay.
Yeah.
He's like, what are you gonna give me? That you know, is equal pain, and he just sits there, grabs his fucking tongue out, dude.
Oh yeah.
Takes that katana. It's brutal, but it's wild because he can talk full sentences again. It's healing. I'm like,
he
loves it.
He just stitches it back up, yeah.
Yeah.
I had to stop by the hospital real quick. They had to do some shit to me.
Yeah.
Oh, you know he loved it too. Oh.
Yeah, pain is pleasure, man.
Yeah.
The
Especially for
box.
him. The
Yeah.
box.
I just
You
love at
opened
the end
it,
when we
Ichi came.
when you get Kakihara and Ichi together finally, and Kakihara finds out that Ichi is just a dweeb, just a wimp who doesn't want to do any of this stuff, and how much it kind of like breaks his heart that he was looking for this equal, and it's like, no, this guy sucks. Like,
Yep.
Fight me. Do something.
yeah,
damn
torture me.
He's like there with his little
Pinches his
needle.
nipples.
Come on.
Yeah.
Do something. Get up.
But then, like right before that part, dude, it's like everyone, like it's the son that puts the pieces together. Like that's Ichi.
Mm.
That's he helped me
That's
last
the kid
week.
that punted that bully that was bullying me.
Yeah, he goes, but that's also the serial killer you guys are looking for. Remember? And yeah, it's I like how the puzzle pieces laid together at the end of this movie.
And even
A
the
lot.
dad of the son was like, "Oh, I met you like a week ago."
Yeah.
Fuck? And then obviously his demise comes from
Spinning roundhouse kick. Again.
How did that get enticed? Why did he kill the
Because
dad again?
Gigi, the old guy, tells Ichi that guy's his brother.
He's a long lost brother. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
That's right.
That the ex-cop is a long-lost brother. And he's like, okay, I'm going to go
What a
confront him
piece of
about
shit.
this.
Yep.
Ugh.
And then
God,
I don't think it's until the gun gets drawn on him from someone he thinks is his brother that it just like snaps in his
Yep.
mind, and he's like, "Why is my own brother pointing a gun at me?"
Yeah.
Yeah. The finale, like, it's so interesting because it's not like it doesn't end in some big climactic fight scene. Like it's not the hyper stylized action movie that it's been for the like
Mm.
last 2/3, and I kind of love that about it. It's just like the dweeb between the two of them gets shot in the leg and just falls on the ground
Starts
crying.
crying.
Like it's like the end of Glass. It's like, oh my god, like that's where we're ending it. That's amazing. Like it feels like a rug pull, but it feels like a rug pull that is at least earned thematically.
Yeah.
His
through its
armor also did
characters.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all
the
his
armor
great
is
armor,
awful.
nothing fucking worked.
And just the like, I mean, terrible CGI aside, the hairpins to the
Oh,
eardrums
yeah.
is
Oh.
like, oh god.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody kills me.
And then you see Ichi kills the kid.
But does he?
Oh,
I don't think he does.
that's
How do you
what we
guys
don't
read the
know.
ending? How do you guys read the ending?
I feel like it's all in the Yakuza leader's just mind, or like of him killing himself, and that's like
So-
something that happened in his mind.
Yeah, that's how I read it. Is like Kakihara hallucinated this killing himself, like, essentially. Like,
As he's
he took the
falling down.
dive. Yeah. Because, like,
I love this.
obviously
I
the,
was gonna say he
like,
was getting off falling down.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
100%.
He's
I
repelling
think,
himself.
I think
he even
Itchy
said,
died on that roof.
Just
I think
bleeding
that-
out.
Yeah, because that kid was just kicking him to death. You know, like, I
Dude,
think
it's just,
I think the kid kicked him. So, like, there's the scene that it cuts to where it's the park, and you pan up and you see Gigi, the like old guy that was controlling Ichi. He's hanging from the tree, and there's that little school group, and then a kid that we haven't seen before, like, turns around
Supposed to
and
be
looks
that
at him.
kid.
It's supposed to be that kid, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So I don't know. To me, it's like, what's his face? Kakihara just could not stomach the fact that his, like, savior of sadomasochism was just some whiny little dweeb who didn't know how to, push the mommy daddy button, and he just, like, chucked himself over the roof.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
Glass ending,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
love it.
Oh, it's better than Glass. Glass ending is awesome.
I wonder how that is in the manga.
I'm just because, like, with everything that he's survived through the whole movie, to the point where he's like on the fucking stair on the railing, I'm like, that's what took him out. I'm like, dude, get the fuck out of here. But
It was like Looney Tunes, just watching him,
yeah,
like
dude.
Roadrunner or Wile E. Coyote.
I
Or some
think he's
shit.
like revving himself up. Like, it's a little foreplay for him.
Possibly.
He's edging. He's edging his own
I think,
suicide.
I think
See him
so.
falling down like this.
Oh, yeah. He's like, I love it.
Just saying, I'd fuck me the entire time.
he just unloads and it shoots up
Yeah,
like
'cause
Spider-Man's fucking thing.
He says it.
grabs
He,
the railing.
he realizes no one else can be his equal besides himself, so he's the one that kills himself at the end. Yeah. It's a tragic love story.
It's it's a messy, tragic love story for sure.
I just love during all that you just hear Ichi crying the entire time, getting kicked. I'm like, this is
By
good.
some like 12-year-old kid.
So, like, who the fuck's that bully? Who's that kid getting up there kicking the shit out of that grown ass man?
When he finally stuck those things in his ears and the sound cut out for a couple of minutes, I was very thankful. I was like, oh, thank God. I don't want to keep listening to this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm with you, buddy. Like,
I want to talk about the look of Kakihara before we wrap things up. His costumes.
he serves cunt.
He serves it 100%.
Very eccentric, and I really like how he stands out of everyone else in this Yakuza group a lot. And that's a
Not
statement,
even just because of
too.
his face either. It's just like his colors and everything's great.
The blonde hair, the Cheshire, the Glasgow smile, wearing the scarves, wearing the bright colors while they're all wearing black and whites. I love it. It's a fucking statement. It's like he wants you to know he's coming for you.
Yeah.
I love it. It's awesome.
He's peacocking because murder is equivalent to sex for him.
Yep.
Boom.
Done.
I think Nolan stole the Joker scars from this.
So I always think of the Glasgow, the smile. I always equate it to like Sons of Anarchy.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
There's Chibs, the dude that has the actual actor actually has those things, man. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
It's terrifying seeing what happened, and essentially how he had to fucking get those.
Yeah.
But not like this guy, because that's the lip rings are that's part of his mouth.
Like holding his mouth together. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude.
Until
so
somebody
crazy.
punches him in the
At the
face
end,
and he
too.
like swallows down their entire fist.
And he gloves that man.
gloves him, yeah. Like,
Oh my god, it's brutal as
Oh,
Mike
I love
Flanagan has watched Ichi the Killer, definitely.
When we first meet Kakihara, he's smoking, and you just have the smoke come out of the cheeks. Incredible.
So cool.
And that reminded me immediately. Have you seen Pan's Labyrinth?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When General gets his fucking lip cut off and he drinks the whiskey, you
Yeah.
see it come out. Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
gnarly.
Yep.
There's a lot of good effects in here, but there's also a lot of very cheesy early 2000s.
Yeah, the guy that
It's
gets
a-
split in half is pretty rough.
Pretty
It's
rough.
a comic
No
book
bones.
movie.
The face
we
getting
just covered
splattered
Spawn.
against the wall.
Yeah.
We
Like-
just covered Spawn, dude. Get the fuck
Yeah,
out of here
I got-
looking
I
at
got Spawn
bad
right here.
CGI.
The
Spawn's
crazy thing
everywhere.
is, though, like they could have done most of this practically. Like
yeah.
that's what
Big buff dude?
yeah, the big buff dude is I mean, it's a big buff dude. But yeah, they could have done like the body split, like practically, like some of the limbs that are flying and some of the blood. Like I don't know
think
why
wanted
they
to
didn't.
keep
Though.
it very comic booky kind of feel, and I think if you were to do it practical, I think at that time, I don't know how much of that feel they would be able to do. So like I kind of like that it's cheesy, so it adds to like that feel. But yeah, I mean, they definitely could have done it practically.
It's also like seeing the cheese factor of that. It's like it's a break. Well,
Yeah.
like seeing the brutality. It's like you see how wild it looks instead of it being a severed arm or severed leg. It's like this 3D composited arm flying away.
I want to ask, because Audition's perfect, like that doesn't need to be touched. But a movie like this, would you like to see it remade and be more serious?
Remade, yes, not more serious.
Read
Yeah.
it.
Take out the grape elements.
Yeah.
Pump up the zaniness, like the like ridiculous stuff, like fists going fully into cut open mouths and shit like that. Like lean into that. Yeah,
I want
I'm
an
there.
Itchy the
Okay
Killer
with that.
anime.
Yes.
That's what I would want. I think it would be. I think it would rule as an anime. Or
anime.
Oh well, yeah, that's fine.
That's what. It's fine. I'm not here to yuck no one's yum.
But I would watch. I don't usually watch a whole lot of anime, but I would watch an Itchy
Sure.
the Killer anime show or a live action serialization of Itchy the
Yeah,
Killer.
I think if it was definitely in like in a show and not maybe like a movie, I think it'd work better.
Yeah.
I think if Kakashi is like, he can't be the only supernatural being in this universe, right? Give me a Sin City style movie
That'd be cool.
of Itchy the Killer. I want to see what else is going on while these stories interlude with each other. Anthologies,
Yeah.
if you will.
I would assume the manga probably has some more weirdo characters.
Yeah.
Oh,
in
I'm
it.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think so. But yeah, take the grape out of it because it wouldn't fly now.
Yeah, no.
2001,
Yeah.
it's still
Also a
treading
foreign
water.
movie, so it gives a little
Also
bit
a
more leeway on that.
Yeah, but I feel like if it's remade and if it's serious, it would take all of the charm away from the character. But at the end of the day, we still have this movie to go back to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would want it just as zany, but anthology, like Sin City style.
Yeah. I'd take that. That'd be cool.
All
Make
right.
an Itchy the Killer movie that's like an itchy and scratchy cartoon.
I mean, that's kind of what the movie is. I'm gonna throw it off to Little D here. Final thoughts on Itchy the Killer, and how many severed tongues are you giving this movie?
Oh boy. Well, when we're pairing this up with Audition, and I'm thinking about that movie, and I'm thinking about this one, and as much as this conversation has been really fun, and there's been a lot of laughs, a lot of gross outness. I'm not going to put this one as high. I'm probably going to give this one like a 3 out of 5. It's fun. It's long, but there's a lot of things in there I don't need to see again. So definitely 3 out of 5.
Big D, how about you? What do you get? How many severed tongues are you giving this?
So, taking away the grape elements out of this movie, man, like there is a lot of fun to be had. We literally spent 20 minutes talking about loads.
All I can think of is the ghost skit from I Think You Should Leave.
Jizz.
My ectoplasm.
Jizz. Like cum shot?
Yeah. But I like the zany of it. I like the comic book feel. The practicals are great. It made me laugh a lot. But as Little D just alluded, I'm looking at this double feature, right? I would give this 3 severed tongues because I liked Audition's story a lot more than this story. So 3 severed tongues, baby.
Sam, what about you? How many severed tongues you giving this?
Yeah, I think this movie started really rough. And I texted you about 45 minutes in, and I was like, I'm not vibing with this at all. Part of that was on me. I started at 11 a.m. on a Sunday. Not the optimal time to watch ICHI the Killer. But as it went on, it got better. And I enjoyed a lot, especially in the third act of what it was doing. So I would give this, I'm going to give it like 3 out of 5 and say I'll probably never watch this again, but I understand the cult appeal. You know?
What about the prequels?
Maybe? If we ever do an episode on them, maybe.
Yeah, I'm going to Google, like, I'm going to say, hey, does this happen in these? And if it says no, then I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm giving this 3.5. I like this one a lot. It worked better for me on this watch than it did the first time. I think the comic book manga elements are incredible. It has such a wicked, twisted sense of humor. I think the violence is completely over the top that you can't take it serious, but also the like torture scene, the tongue cutting out scene, like that stuff is just cringeworthy. Kakihara, like I said, I think is a top tier horror character. I think he's incredible. Ichi is we could do a whole episode just dissecting him as a character and as a person and trying to understand his psychology. I think there's so much in that character. I think this is worth a watch, not for the faint of heart though, at all. So if us talking about all of the stuff that happens in it didn't wet your whistle, then this movie's not going to be for you.
Sure. But I mean, comparing this, like the situation in this movie to say like Last House on the Left, like Last House on the Left, there is justification as well, but it's also the Western style of movies that we are accustomed to.
Yeah.
That's why people are a little bit more acceptive of Last House on the Left. Do I care for it? Absolutely not. I won't watch I Spit on Your Grave. I'm not a huge fan of that topic in general. Yeah. But when it is justified in the movie by somebody, it's okay. It's not okay. I'm not saying it's okay that it happened. I'm saying it's okay that it was justified by
a fictional movie.
Like depiction doesn't always equal like endorsement, like that's
yeah.
Yeah.
But when you have a Sami killing a dog, fuck her.
No going back. No going back.
None. There's no rectifying that.
All right. Well, that's been our Takashi Miike double feature, Audition, ICHI the Killer. Curious, he's made over 100 movies. Have you guys seen any of his other work? These are the only 2 that I have ever seen.
Is Takashi Miike, did he do Sakiyaki Western Django?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've seen that one.
I'm sure I've seen other works of his, but this can't come to my mind right now.
I saw the absolutely
these are the 2 big
abysmal
ones.
remake of One Missed Call, but that wasn't him. That was some American studio.
Yeah.
That movie's terrible.
That movie doesn't count. Fuck that movie.
Here's a marble. You better not miss my next fucking phone call, okay?
All right. So before we get into shameless plugs and all that kind of stuff, we have one more ad read. Are you looking for that extra buzz while watching the Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Or how about melting your mind while watching a Takashi Miike movie? Chirp Boys Delta 8, 9, and THC gummies, vapes, chocolates, and more has you covered. This plant-based product is made from the purest organic hemp-based extracts and backed by third-party laboratories. You can visit buyturpboys.com/screamsfromthebasementpod and use promo code screamsfromthebasementpod at checkout to save 10% on your order. Thanks, Turp Boys. All right.
Thanks, Chirp Boys, and thanks to the Barrens Hideout Boys.
Yes.
Guys, thank you so much for coming on and talking Takashi Miike movies. Where can people find you guys online, and what the heck do you have going on the podcast coming up?
You can find us anywhere you get your audio podcast on YouTube. Got a Patreon if you so want to do that. We put everything up early over there. It's only for $1 every month. You guys get up to a week early of all of our content. We just you said this is coming out in 2 weeks, right? All right. So yeah, we will be in Salem, I think, at that point.
Nice.
We'll be at the Salem Horror Fest. We'll be doing a lot of coverage over there. But outside of that, we would have wrapped up our one of our side shows that we're doing with Anna for Yellow Jackets. We just did our review on that, our final thoughts. Probably a bunch of other tales have came out. A bunch of stuff. We have so much going on over on the show. It's crazy. But Big D, if there's anything you want to add to that, feel free.
Yes, I just finished your guys' The Omen 3 episode, and I'm pretty sure that's what you're about to get to, Sam, is I heard how heated you were about Yellow Jackets. We are receiving text messages from Anna saying, I'm fucking done with these women.
Yes.
Type of shit,
I'm
dude.
with Anna.
It just, Anna got heated about it. But yeah, like Little D said, we are, at this point, all three collectively, for the first time since the show's inception, going to be in the same area in person. Getting to cover Salem Horror Fest. We'll be watching a bunch of shorts, bunch of movies. We'll be interviewing people. All that stuff will be thrown up on Instagram, or just Instagram, because that's all we have.
Yeah.
So, Tales from the Barrens is going strong. Go check out short films. Please watch short films.
Best way to support indie horror and indie filming in general.
Beautiful shotgun fucking shorts, man. But that's about it. Yeah. That's all I've got to say about that.
Thanks for coming on, guys. We might have to talk off air about Yellow Jackets a little bit because, like, oh my god,
Sure.
this shit is pissing me off.
Well, trust me, I'm right there with you.
I love this show so much, and I'm in it to the end. But like, what the fuck? Anyways.
Yeah, it was great being here. So I think you guys.
Yeah, thank you guys for having us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we'll have to do it again. We need to get you guys to come over back to the Barrens Hideout.
Yeah, I need to actually come to the hideout this time.
Come.
Yeah, get out of the basement for once.
Yeah, Sam's gotta leave the basement.
I gotta leave the basement.
Yeah.
Sam, where can they find us online, and maybe you'll do some ramblings of Yellow Jackets on there?
Yeah, you can find us online at on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube if you like that video component, or anywhere you get your podcasts. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and TikTok. If you want to talk Yellow Jackets with me, I've got lots of thoughts, so, tweet us or whatever on all of these that aren't Twitter.
Tweet us on all these things that aren't Twitter.
Yeah. Casey, where can they support the show?
They can help support the show. They can buy official merch on our TeePublic store, link in the episode description there. And then you can join us on Patreon as well for as little as $1 a month. You can help support the show. For $5 a month, you get a bonus episode each and every month, written reviews by Sam, collection vlogs for myself. I assume, Sam, you're probably going to write a Yellow Jackets thing on Patreon, is what I'm assuming.
Yeah, I have thoughts.
Okay.
I fucking
Sam
hate
has
this.
thoughts.
I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it.
Fuck you, Shauna.
Yes.
So that's where you can find us, over on Patreon. Again, link in the episode description. And then coming up this weekend, this is coming out on April 25th. So tomorrow, we're going to be hanging out at our Horror Con, the Screams by Night halfway to Halloween Con, which is this weekend in Sioux Falls, South Dakota at the Social, from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tickets still available for $10 online or $15 at the door. Again, guests include Mark Torgel from The Toxic Avenger, Mark Donovan from Shaun of the Dead, Aurelio Voltaire from The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Over 24 vendors. We have panels, cosplay, silent auction, so much more. It's going to be a hell of a time. And then we're showing The Toxic Avenger at the Sioux Falls State Theater as our sort of after party to the convention. We're going to be hanging out there, doing a Q&A with Mark Torgel afterwards with Melvin the Mop Boy himself. Hell, the mop itself might show up to the screening. I don't know.
The magical mop, baby. I just got the Toxic Crusaders on Blu-ray, man. I've been binging that.
God, that show is so good. So good.
Yeah. Toxic Crusaders.
Well, Big D, Little D, Dustin, thank you again
Thanks,
for coming
guys.
on. We will do this again sometime, but Sam, go ahead. Give us that sign off.
Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody, and sweet screams.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.